Multiple alleles. Multiple alleles inheritance is when an organism receives more than two alleles for a single gene. An example of this is fur coats in rabbits. So the homozygous dominant organism would be a wild type or brown fur. The homozygous recessive individual would be albino or have white fur. And the heterozygous could be a wild type chinchilla or a Himalayan. It's because each of these three genotypes have one allele that could be dominant over another. Here's our example problem on multiple alleles within fur color patterns in rabbits. So to go over our genotypes and alleles, the allele capital C translates to a dark gray coat and is dominant over every other possible allele. The allele lowercase c, ch, translates to a chinchilla pattern and is dominant to Himalayan and white. The allele lowercase c, h, is a Himalayan pattern and is dominant only to white. And finally, the allele lowercase c translates to a white phenotype and is completely recessive. Now moving on to a practice problem, we are filling in the phenotype for the genotypes listed. So the genotype here is lowercase c, ch, and lowercase ch. So with that in mind, we see that there's a chinchilla pattern and a Himalayan pattern within this genotype. And looking at the patterns of inheritance, we see that the CCH is dominant to Himalayan and white, while the Himalayan pattern is not dominant to the chinchilla pattern. With that in mind, we can see that the chinchilla pattern is dominant and that it would be the showing phenotype. Moving on, we have the allele capital C and then the allele lowercase c, ch. And looking at the phenotype dark gray coat or the capital C, looking at the pattern of inheritance, we see that that is a dominant allele and is dominant over everything. So we don't even need to look at what the CCH is, and we can just write down dark gray coat. And finally, we have the genotype lowercase ch and lowercase c. So that translates to a Himalayan pattern for the first allele and a white phenotype for the second allele. And looking at the patterns of inheritance, we see that the Himalayan pattern is only dominant to white, and that white is the recessive allele. And seeing that the Himalayan pattern is dominant to white, we can tell that that is a Himalayan pattern for the phenotype. And now moving on to another practice problem. Would it be possible to obtain white rabbits if one parent is white and the other is chinchilla? So we can solve this with a Punnett square. So one parent is white, knowing that at least one is lowercase c, and the other is chinchilla. So a chinchilla is lowercase c, ch, and we want to get white rabbits as the children. So for that, we need two lowercase c's. And looking at the phenotype chinchilla pattern, the allele is lowercase c, ch, and the pattern of inheritance is that it is dominant to Himalayan and white. So with that in mind, a chinchilla pattern rabbit is possible. It is possible that it could have the genotypes lowercase c, ch, and lowercase c, and it would still be a chinchilla pattern. So with that, we can fill out the Punnett square. So lowercase c, c, which is a chinchilla, and then lowercase c, ch, and lowercase c, another chinchilla, and then C and C creates lowercase c, and lowercase c, which is two white rabbits. So this is possible. Number 2, explain. Is it possible to obtain chinchilla rabbits if one parent is Himalayan and the other is white? So important information, obtain chinchilla rabbits if one parent is Himalayan and the other is white. To get chinchilla rabbits, you'd need the CCH allele. And if one parent is Himalayan, it could either be C lowercase h, or C lowercase h and lowercase c. And white is CC. And if we put either of those into a Punnett square, we'll make 2 Punnett squares so we can see both examples. We have C, lowercase c h, lowercase ch, and CC. And for the other one, it would be lowercase ch, lowercase c, and CC. When we fill out the Punnett squares, we see that it is impossible for the children to be chinchilla pattern. And how do we know this? This is because, when we look at the possible genotypes for the parents and we find the outcomes of all of them, we can see that none of them can possibly create a chinchilla pattern rabbit.